Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous to film this video. It's been the longest time coming and I just can't believe that I'm finally here. So some of you guys may already know if you saw my announcement on Monday, but I have launched my own clothing brand. Oh my gosh. I just can't believe I'm finally saying that. Anyone who knows me knows that this has been one of my biggest dreams for a very long time now, like since the very early days of me starting on YouTube. And as much as I've desperately wanted this, I know how much you guys have been wanting this too. I think almost every single day for the past like 3 or 4 years, I've had somebody comment or leave a message saying, Freddie, when are you gonna bring out your own clothing brand? And I'm not sure I even truly believe that that day would ever come. Even when I started this process over 1.5 years ago now, it didn't quite feel real. Until literally now, actually, sitting down and filming this video. And in case any of you did not see the announcement video on Monday or haven't been seeing all of my posts on Instagram, the brand's name is FLOSSY by FREDDY. Oh my God, it's actually real. Okay, so there's a lot I want to cover in this video. I just want you guys to know absolutely everything about the brand, why I made it, what it means to me, everything that's gone into it, the journey, the dresses. But before we start, I'm so excited to announce that we are launching this evening. So depending on what time you're watching this video, we may be launching shortly or we may have already launched. But please head to flossybyfreddy.co.uk. And also, I would just be so eternally grateful if you guys would follow the brand Instagram account. It's just at Flossy by Freddie. That would really mean so much to me. So, on to the story of the brand. So, as you guys obviously know, I have been making fashion videos on YouTube for coming up to 7 years now. And over all of those years, after almost every single week showing you guys hundreds and hundreds of outfits, I really kind of developed this signature style that lots of you recognize and relate to me. I have been responsible for probably millions of sales over the years, and my tagged Instagram photos are just full of your beautiful posts wearing outfits that I've shown on my social media platforms or just outfits inspired by things that I've worn. I literally see girls like out and about, and I know that they follow me before they even come up to me and say hi. And they almost always do. And it's the best feeling in the world. Also to receive a message from a follower saying how they were really lacking in self-esteem and struggling to be themselves, and I've really helped boost their confidence and help them start celebrating themselves. It's just something that I'm so proud of, much more than influencing you to buy a dress. And that's exactly what I really wanted to carry through into my clothing brand. So apart from obviously having the amazing privilege to be able to create pieces of clothing that I basically just always wished existed, haven't I just spent so many years saying, oh, I just wish this skirt like stuck out a little bit more. I wish the sleeves were a bit puffier. You guys know I've always felt that there is such a lack of just overt femininity in fashion in the modern day. It's always kind of felt to me that there's been a little bit of a stigma around being super girly or overtly feminine, and a lot of assumptions or negative connotations that come with that. And I just really want to be the brand and the person that just proves that wrong. You can be girly and love pink and flowers and pearls and shoes and still be intelligent and independent and multifaceted. And that's something that I really wanted to show with this brand. So Flossy by Freddie will not only be your go-to destination for beautiful, flamboyant, theatrical, feminine pieces, but also the brand that just encourages you to be confident, be proud of yourself, and most importantly, feel like the leading lady. There are a few theatre references in the brand, as well as many other elements of my personality and passions sprinkled in, which you will discover along the way. So the first thing I really want to talk about is the name of the brand. I feel like some of you have sort of guessed where the name came from, but some of you are still wondering. So when I first started YouTube, I did a Q&A and somebody asked me what my middle name was. And I said, I have a middle name, but it's really embarrassing and I'm not going to tell you. Maybe one day if I hit 1 million subscribers, I'll tell you my middle name. And that was me thinking that that would never happen. And then when I did hit 1 million subscribers, a few people did ask me, but I felt like most people had forgotten, and I was just like, what am I going to do? A big middle name reveal, like no one cares. So then when my brand was in development and I had to come up with a name, it was honestly the hardest decision out of every single step of this process, because I suppose it's a bit like naming a child. Like once you're given a name, you don't really change it, you're kind of stuck with it for life. So it was a really, really big decision, and I obviously knew that I wanted it to be very, very personal to me, because it's my brand, there's so much of me in this brand, so it had to feel very personal, but I also wanted it to feel very separate from my social media and my YouTube, so I didn't want it to be really related to Freddie My Love at all, which is my channel name, because I just don't want it to feel like YouTube merch. Like this is a separate thing altogether, even though they're obviously very much connected. So I was really struggling. And then one day it just hit me and I knew I had the perfect name. And I'm sure you've all guessed by now, but yes, Flossie is my middle name. Well, actually legally it is Floss. My name is Freddie Floss Cousin Brown, but my family all of my life have always called me Freddie Flossie, or sometimes even just Flossie. And honestly, I used to be so embarrassed. I was like, I cannot believe you called me Freddie Floss. Like, who would do that? If you guys want the real truth, my mum actually had a cat called Flossie, who she loved more than anything, a bit like me with my cats. And sadly, Flossie did die. My mum believes that she was bitten by a scorpion in central London. And she was so heartbroken that her and my dad decided to have a baby. And I was named after the cat. And as I've gotten older, I hate to admit it, but I'm no longer embarrassed by my middle name. I think it's really cool and cute. I feel like a big I told you so is coming from my parents after years and years of abuse. And funnily enough, Flossie also does have a very relevant meaning. And I only discovered this from watching Gossip Girl when they sing Fergie's Glamorous. There's a part in the song where she sings, "Oh, the glamorous, oh, the flossy, flossy." And I was like, did I hear that right? So I Googled the word Flossie and it comes up on Urban Dictionary as someone who is very bougie, likes to dress up, and is a bit of a show off. So I thought it really couldn't be more perfect. So that's the story of the brand name. I absolutely love it and I really feel like it was just weirdly meant to be. So I really hope you guys love it too. So I had the brand name, but then it was time to come up with my very first collection. And this was also extremely difficult because I have so many ideas for collections going forward, but this is the debut, so it had to be special and iconic. I really wanted to create pieces that were very recognizable to my style, dresses that you would look at and think, that's a Freddie dress. And you may have noticed that there are only 3 dresses in the collection, and lots of people think that that's because I'm just getting started, but actually this is the concept of the brand. Each collection will only ever be a trio of dresses. I'm just very aware of overconsumption in fashion and the impact that has on the planet, and I really don't want to be a huge contributor to that. So my collections will be very select, very limited edition. And there'll also be pieces that I hope you'll want to keep in your wardrobe forever and never ever get rid of. They're going to be timeless styles, classic beauties, and extremely well made. Especially after talking about longevity of clothes and timelessness of styles for so many years on my channel, it was really important to me that that was a core element of the brand. And for now, the brand is going to be solely focused on dresses. I've just always loved the idea of having a dress brand, and at this point in my career and just my life, I feel like I really, really know my dresses. So each collection is going to be a fabulous limited edition trio of dresses that I kind of hope you guys will collect and sort of build your own Flossie portfolio. So before I talk you guys through the process of creating the collection, I think I should show it to you. Introducing the Overture Collection. An ode, of course, to one of my greatest loves, theatre. The Overture is the beginning of the show, and it's where you get sort of a taste of what's to come. And that's exactly what this collection is. So I'm going to show you each piece, tell you guys the inspiration behind the dress, the journey and the process that went into making them, and of course then we will try them on. So I thought first I'd quickly show you guys some of the designs and concepts that we had for the first collection. Here's a little kind of mood board of styles and designs, and most importantly the colour palette. So that sort of set the tone, and then I had a lot of back and forth with a design team who helped me come up with the 3 perfect designs for the dresses before we went into the sampling process. So this was the final design deck. So I basically told the designers everything that I wanted each dress to be, all of the features, and then they came up with these really fabulous drawings, and we had a little bit of back and forth. until we made them perfect, and then we could send them off for sampling. So the sampling process was really, really fun and exciting. You basically send your designs and your tech spec pack to the factory, and they basically make your dresses up in the fabric. But because obviously all of my colors were custom dipped, when they're doing the sampling process, they just send the garments in the colors that they just have lying around in that fabric, if that makes sense. So none of the colors were actually correct, and I just had to kind of look past it and focus on the fit and the actual design details of each dress. And I actually have my first samples still. I kept them as a souvenir, and I thought it'd be really fun to show you guys the samples so you could see the progression, but I'll wait till I've shown you the dresses. So the first dress in the collection is the Coco dress. This is of course a little nod to Coco Chanel, as the dress is a little Chanel inspired, but it's also mainly named after my sister Coco. I feel like I'm gonna say every dress is my favorite, but I really love this. I've worn this so much. You guys just haven't noticed it because I haven't put it on my Instagram story, but it's so versatile because you can wear this in spring, summer as like a cute little sleeveless dress. But I actually also wore this in New York when it was absolutely freezing. I just wore like a white knitted turtleneck underneath it and some knee-high boots, and it literally looked amazing. I've got loads of styling inspiration coming onto the Instagram page, so make sure you guys are following. So the key features of this dress are of course the beautiful boucle fabric. I honestly cannot believe how perfect the color combination is. I'll show you guys a close-up of the fabric. It's just divine. It's a beautiful mix of cream, pink, beige with a tiny little hint of gold. It's just perfection. It's also got the really lovely off-white trim, making it really versatile, the little fake pockets. So we actually decided to make these pockets fake instead of real because it made the buttons stand up a lot more. That was one of the things we really picked up on in the sampling process, was the buttons, because they're really beautiful, like heavy gold and like diamante buttons were kind of flopping a little bit because they did have a bit of weight to them. So we decided to close up the pockets to really make those buttons stand out. And I'm so glad we did, because the buttons really deserve to be on show. They are so beautiful. It's also fully lined, of course, as are all the dresses. That's one of my biggest pet hates in fashion, is when the dresses are not lined properly, they're see-through, or they just don't feel like good quality. They're very thin and cheap feeling, and especially with boucle, they can be so itchy and uncomfortable, but this just feels so nice on your skin to wear, and it's a super flattering shape as well. So guys, here is the Coco dress in action. As you can see, it has a really beautifully fitted shape. It's fitted to the body, but it's not super duper tight, so it's very comfortable to wear. You literally don't feel like you're wearing anything. And also there's a lot of like room in the sleeves for you to layer stuff underneath it. Also the height of the neckline, it's raised, but it's not like a super high neck that I would usually wear, because I wanted you guys to have the freedom to layer stuff underneath it, like a turtleneck or a little pussy bow blouse. So for that reason, it's a very versatile dress. Even though this is a spring summer collection, I mean, you can really work this dress to suit lots of weathers and seasons. It's also the perfect length. It's not too short, even though it's a very adorable mini dress. It's very comfortable. You're not going to feel like you're overexposed or wearing something that's going to make you feel uncomfortable at all. I just wanted this to be something that you could feel so confident and comfortable wearing, but look super duper chic in the process, and it really is. It's so classic, beautiful fabric. You cannot feel any sort of scratch of the boucle, not that it's scratchy boucle anyway. This really is the most classic dress I could think of, and I just love it. The next dress in the collection is the Faye, and this dress is named after my granny, Faye, who is obviously very special to me, but also has a background in dressmaking. And this is just the most beautiful, unique dress. It's a beautiful linen blend fabric. The reason I didn't go with 100% linen is because linen just creases so easily. Like my Zimmermann shorts, for example, they're beautiful, but then as soon as you're sat down, they kind of get ruined. And also linen can be a little bit flimsy. It doesn't always have this perfect structure, which is what I really wanted for this dress. So as you can see, we have this really stunning, very full skirt that has these really gorgeous defined pleats. It's of course fully lined as well. There are so many gorgeous details on the dress, like the ladder lace around the waist and on the chest here, the beautiful pin tuck detail, which I think is so gorgeous, and also these really pretty fabric covered buttons. It's also got this really flattering tailored sleeve with this cute little shirt cuff, and the cuff comes to what we call bracelet length, so it's a little bit above the end of the wrist. All three dresses also have a concealed zip as well, which I think is a really important element in the perfect dress, and it's just fitted to perfection. It was so important to me that it was really flattering and just created a really beautiful silhouette. So here is the lovely Faye dress on. I feel like this dress is so precious and it just makes me want to go, Liesl. I feel like it has very much Sound of Music vibes, but it just has such a beautiful, flattering fit. It's so fitted around the waist and then this beautiful full skirt that you can just twirl around in like this, and look how flattering the sleeves are. I just love the length. I think they look so elegant and feminine. This is such a lovely like dressed up but casual weekend dress with a little pair of like sandal heels. But to be honest, like I actually tried this on. Its final sample was in January and it was really, really cold, and I went to my sample fitting in my black over the knee boots and a black headband, and I'll put a picture on screen. It just looked really good with the boots and the headband, like surprisingly good. So I feel like you can also double this dress up in autumn because the fabric is really nice and thick. So it would actually keep you quite warm, especially with a coat as well. But it truly is beautiful, such a gorgeous fit. And I just think with all of the design details, it's so, so unique and just a total classic. The third and final dress, which I think is the showstopper, is the Nelly dress. Everyone knows how special my beautiful cat Nelly was to me. So I wanted to name a dress after her. My mum named a baby after her cat, but I'm naming a dress after mine. And the reason this dress is named after Nelly is because this is the glam party dress, and I always said that Nelly was the ultimate glamour puss. And oh my gosh, this dress is so much fun. I just wanted to create the ultimate girly party dress that was really OTT but still wearable at the same time. So we've used this absolutely incredible taffeta fabric. It almost slightly feels like a rain jacket, but it works so well for this dress because the skirt literally sticks out. Everyone that's seen it or tried it on has just been like, oh my God, this dress is incredible. It has a little bit of a sheen to it as well, which is really nice, and it's just such a unique fabric and it feels very, very high end. Some other elements to the dress are the high neck. It's not like a super, super high neck, but it is slightly raised because you guys know I love a heightened neckline. It's also got this really cool panelled waist, which really just cinches in your waistline and creates such a flattering shape. And of course, the incredible puff sleeves. They are just perfect. I don't know if you guys can see on the shoulder detail how all of the fabric is gathered, and this is what gives it the beautiful feminine shape. It's also elasticated around the arm. It's not too tight that it's going to cut off your circulation, but it's tight enough to create this amazing, amazing shape. I really wanted puff sleeves for this dress, but I was also aware that those really exaggerated puff sleeves are very much a trend right now and may not be timeless. So I think this is the perfect amount of puff. You still get that beautiful feminine feature. It really adds to the entire silhouette of the dress, but it's also very wearable and also timeless. It also has the concealed zip. It's fully lined like both of the other dresses. And of course, the most fabulous buttons I think I've ever seen. I'll show you guys a little close up, but they're basically little pearl and diamante clusters. And they are just so fun and sparkly and pretty. I'm literally obsessed with buttons. And here is what the Nelly dress looks like on. Guys, can you understand why I am obsessed with this dress? Look at the skirt. Look, it doesn't move. It just sticks out. It's absolute heaven. I honestly could not imagine a more perfect party dress, like with the colour, the buttons, the skirt, the shape, the sleeves, the neck. Literally every detail of this dress to me is just perfection. The fabric's amazing. It's so, so comfortable. You could wear this all night without a care in the world. It's just the cutest thing ever. You could wear it to a birthday party, a graduation. You could even wear this to a wedding. I just can't get over the fit of this dress. Like the way the puff sleeves kind of bring you out a little bit broader on top, and then the skirt sticks out, but it's really nice and fitted around the waist. It just gives you that perfect triangular hourglass shape, which I just think is amazing. And look how sparkly and pretty the buttons are. You will just want to twirl around in this dress and feel like a princess, and everyone will ask you where you got this dress from, and you'll say, oh, It's Flossy by Freddie. So they are the 3 dresses in the Overture Collection, and the idea is that you can actually justify having all 3 of these dresses. They all serve a slightly different purpose in your wardrobe, and they kind of go as a little set. So the Cocoa is the dress that I see as the dress you can wear to work or college, and I know that's a bit tongue-in-cheek, it depends on your job, but I feel like it's the most like I mean business dress. You can wear it with a blouse underneath with a little pussy bow or a turtleneck, or just as it is. The Faye I sort of see as the weekend dress, so the dress you wear to brunch with your friends, shopping, or to a show. It's the dress that you wear on your days off. And the Nelly is of course the party and occasion wear dress. So the idea is you have 3 dresses, a full set, a full collection for all of the occasions you would need. So yes, that is everything about the Overture Collection. Okay, so just for fun, I'm going to quickly show you guys the first sample of each dress so you can see like the progression and just get an idea of like what I was seeing, because I think it's so interesting. So here was the first sample of the Cocoa. So it's actually completely different fabric wise. I initially chose this fabric because I loved the gold, and I liked how the gold was more of a feature than the pink. But after seeing it on the dress, and because I knew that this would be a spring-summer collection, I just felt like actually this fabric would be nicer in autumn-winter, and I prefer to go for something a bit lighter. As you can see the difference, like they're quite similar. They're a similar colour palette, but different like feature colours. So really happy we went with this, but I am bookmarking this fabric for a future collection because I think it's beautiful. We also had a pink trim. This wasn't actually the correct pink. It was going to be more similar to the Nelly Dress pink. And again, totally changed my mind on that because I just thought it would look a little bit classier with the off-white. Although these buttons, the ones we started out with, got very quickly ditched because I just knew they were not special enough at all. They were just quite plain gold buttons, and I really wanted something super glitzy and glam. But altogether, fit-wise, it was a very good sample and made me very excited. It was the first one I tried on. Oh my gosh, so the sample of the Faye dress is actually hilarious. When I first saw it, I was like, oh my god, and everyone told me don't worry, it's not the colour, you just have to try and look past the colour. So this was my first sample of the Faye dress. So this was just the colour fabric that they had lying around in the textile that I actually wanted, and we made so many adjustments to this dress. As you can see, like the sleeves are completely different. I initially wanted like a balloon sleeve with an elasticated cuff, but when I tried this on, just in this particular linen fabric with the lining, it was just so bulky and it really didn't look flattering or feminine. It was just way too much. So we eventually took about like 40% of the volume out of the sleeve, really tailored it in a little bit more and added a shirt cuff instead of the elastic. The skirt also didn't really feel full enough and the pleats weren't as defined as I'd liked. So we added more volume into the skirt and just stitched this differently so that the pleats were a lot more blocky and defined. The ladder lace, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see because it's white, but can you see on the ladder lace the gap is a lot wider on the original sample, so we actually just narrowed the gap slightly between the ladder lace on both the waist and the chest there as well. And also the fabric buttons were really small as well, so we added bigger fabric buttons. I did actually really grow to like this colour though. I thought it'd be a really beautiful colour for autumn because it's kind of like a blushy brown, so I actually asked them to bookmark this colour for a future collection. And then finally, the Nelly dress. This was also a really good sample. The fabric I was just in love with. The second I touched it, I was just like, wow, that's exactly what I wanted. This colour was also very close to what I wanted to go for. A really lovely like muted pink. But this was just a little bit too cool toned and close to purple. But it was really interesting to be able to try the dress on in almost the right colour. The buttons were perfect, but we chose those beforehand, so we knew about that. The sleeves, we did a little bit of work on, but stuff that's like not really noticeable to you guys and without feeling it. But the sleeve, basically, we made it taper in a lot more, so it had just a more exaggerated shape. This kind of felt a little bit floppy. We also, I think, made the waist panel a little bit narrower and just kind of pulled the whole dress in to really create this like exaggerated hourglass, like triangular hourglass shape. So again, with this one, we didn't have to change very much at all, which was amazing. It was just minor fit adjustments to really make it perfect. And altogether, we went through 3 rounds of samples. So I had 3 versions of each dress before the finished piece. And again, we just kept on making minor fit adjustments to make sure that it was absolutely perfect. So honestly, guys, so much love and attention to detail has gone into these dresses. They've just had so much thought put behind them, and I truly believe that you will feel that when you put it on. So now I want to talk to you guys about the pricing of the dresses and how I came to basically decide on that. I feel like I've talked to you guys a lot over the years about how I really love to strike that balance between affordable clothing and luxury. I feel like there's so much cheap, poorly made fast fashion out there that I really don't like. There's also so many beautiful luxury brands with stunning pieces that are just not an attainable price at all. So I was really passionate about meeting somewhere in the middle. I wanted to bring you guys a taste of luxury, beautifully made, chic, timeless dresses as affordably as I could. So just a little bit of context for you guys, and because this is actually something that I myself learned along the journey. Take like a high street brand, let's just say Zara. When they are putting together their summer collection, they will say, okay, we need to have a dress that sells for £39 and we want to make, say, 60% profit on that dress, so it can only cost £17 to make. That is not accurate maths, by the way, I completely made that up, but say they have to make a dress for £17, so they will find a pretty cheap fabric, take out the lining, take out the zip and replace it with a little bit of elastic instead, and that's how they come to make that dress. Whereas I did things the complete other way round. So I designed the dresses, I chose my fabrics, my buttons, I was really specific on the details I wanted, like I wanted them to be fully lined with a nice soft lining, a beautiful concealed zip, a nice little gold hook and eye detail at the back, lovely buttons, etc, etc. I was then told how much each garment would cost to produce, and then I was able to decide how I would price them accordingly. So I do make, you know, a little bit of profit, as it is still a business. But honestly, guys, from my heart, these dresses have not been made for profit, they've been made for passion, and I just really hope you love them as much as I do. There will be the option to pay with Klarna, meaning that you can split the payments into 3, completely interest-free, and I'm very excited to tell you guys, because I know this is going to be like the #1 question on your lips, we will be doing worldwide shipping. All of the shipping information will of course be on the website, flossybyfreddy.co.uk, if you haven't already been on it. When you order, every single dress has its very own box, so even if you order all 3 dresses, each dress will come in its own beautiful pink box with this little cream satin ribbon. I'm just so delighted with the packaging. It's so beautiful, and I feel like the dresses really deserve their own box as well. When I was developing the packaging, it was really important to me that the packaging was so beautiful and something that you wouldn't want to throw away. I don't know if you guys have ever ordered from like a luxury brand and really not wanted to throw the box away because it was so pretty. I really wanted to create that feeling with my box. So again, I hope you love it. And then also the swing tag. This was something that took a lot of back and forth development. It was actually the reason why we were a bit late launching. I was supposed to launch in May, but it is obviously June, because I really wanted to get my tags right, because again, I wanted this to be something that you wouldn't want to throw away. So I'll show you a little close up. It obviously says Flossy by Freddie. It's on a little cream ribbon with a gold safety pin. And then there's another tag at the back, which has a little message from me, which I won't read out. You will have to buy a dress to read it. The last thing I need to mention is that these dresses have extremely limited stock. Of course, this is my first time launching a brand and I had no idea like what scale it should be. So there are not that many dresses. So it's actually really important that if the dress that you want is sold out in your size, that you do put your email address in for me. I know that lots of brands have this like be notified feature and most of us just ignore it. But if you would do this for me, it would be so helpful, so I can gauge how many people want more dresses, if I should do a restock, and how many more I should make. That would be so helpful. Please don't ignore the waiting list feature, because it is something that we'll be paying really close attention to. So guys, that is it. That's everything to do with my brand, and I just really want to say a huge thank you to every single one of you watching this video. I don't know if I can fully get across to you like what your support means to me. Like, honestly, if I sat and thought about it for too long, I would cry. Like, can you imagine being as lucky as I am and having this wonderful, huge community of sweet, supportive, lovely, lovely girls and young women and a few men as well, and boys. I don't want to leave you out, I know there are a few, but really everything that you have done for me, and by that I just mean clicking on a video, leaving a comment, liking my photos on Instagram, all of that has led me to this point where I'm able to just really live my dream, and I'm so incredibly grateful to all of you. I wish I could give every single one of you a huge hug and a kiss, and I know that's a cliche, but I really truly deeply mean it. I'm just so lucky to have all of you, and it can be easy to forget sometimes and take for granted, just with all of the stress of the job and the anxiety and everything that comes with it. But every time I read a lovely comment or message, it just puts everything into perspective, and I just realize how truly grateful I am for all of you. I hope you love the brand as much as I do, and I really hope that I have done you proud. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon.